We are now being recorded.
And what else was discussed previously was that Don wants to give his 15 days back,
Yes,
and he wants nothing back. He wants that done to use it or lose it.
yes.
And Kelly would like to do his at, is it 6,000, Kelly? He would like to sell his back for 6,000, get rid of his 15 days. So that's where we're at this point.
Could we have a quick discussion, just to reiterate why we're worried about the days? I know you said it's, well, I guess you said it's because we can't be uneven, but if we kept it fair, if we kept doing it across the board, beyond that, what is the problem with the days?
The problem with that is that they are paid out every year at their daily rate, and that goes up every year. So right now, can I use you as an example, Kelly?
Sure.
Kelly's is 7,200 and change is what his payout annually would be. Next year it would be closer to 8,000. Year after that, I'm getting those.
That seems exponentially high.
Yes.
Yeah, they just
Okay.
go up.
I also remember some discussion
it's
about
around
accounting.
$100 each.
Okay, $100 each time. So they
Okay.
just keep going up every year.
Sure.
And when these were given out, there was no rhyme or reason why days were given out.
They were inconsistent and unfair to begin with.
Yes.
So it's inconsistent, unfair. Is it mandatory that we stop paying days?
Nope.
Is this, okay. We could
This is-
de-
and this is something-
We could decide to keep them.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And this is something that we cannot, because this has been
They have a
given to them.
contract.
They have a contract. Next year, if we do read contracts and we're like, oh, FYI, we're not doing days anymore, we
They
can't
can
do that.
Yeah,
So those are the two options. Option one would be we don't do anything with the days and we just let natural attrition and we don't add days anymore. Or
Could we
option,
stop offering days as new people come on?
yes,
Yeah.
that's actually
So
what
we-
we did with Cole.
Okay, so
He-
he never gets days from here on out, okay. But he will get a boost to,
He will be part of the steps and lanes. If he gets if we do go with the add-on to the base, he will get a pay raise.
Which, as a new administrator, to attract new people, if you know some of your counterparts are making an extra $5,000-6,000, 5 years into it, and you're gonna get nothing ever, seems pretty inequitable, as far as keeping culture good within your team.
I feel really creepy sitting next to someone and stop getting it, like that feels awful.
I thought so too. Sorry, Cole.
I mean, I've been Cole, and everybody got insurance and I was in the room and I didn't, or, everybody else got something that doesn't feel.
but
right.
insurance is offered to
No,
everybody.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about how it's been different for me
Yeah.
since I joined the team and how awful that feels. If I could just say one thing, this has been months that this has been sitting, and it is starting to be really hard to stay positive. I just want to do the job. I want to know what we're doing, have it, and move on. This has been really stressful to have this many meetings, to have no action, and all I want is just to be a principal.
And we're the ones on the front lines. So next week, we're on the front lines. We run the schools. We do the hard work. We talk to parents. We deal with the behavior problems. We deal with the parking lots. So it just feels like because ours is last and it has taken so long that we're not valued like the teachers and everyone else that's had their pay set. I mean, it's really hard also to budget for our own personal lives when we don't even know if the contract that we have right now is where it's gonna lie. So I just agree that something soon needs to happen, because it is. We had a meeting the other day and it's a dark cloud hanging over all of our heads.
Can I ask a quick question? Just, they have their contract. I thought I heard you guys have your contract for this year.
Mhm.
There was a change in the health insurance, which is an impact to your finances.
Tremendously.
Right, okay. But I mean, everything else, like you have an idea of,
Yeah.
your
Just
salary is X.
With our insurance, we
Yeah.
need to obviously put back in
Gotcha.
what, we have to make those decisions.
Right, but right now, your contract for this next year is what it was before, except for the 100% health insurance, is that right? Like the difference of what you guys were needing to pay.
The $7,000 difference.
Yeah.
basically.
No, I'm not minimizing it, I'm just trying to
The
understand.
56,000 that the district is saving, 56,000. Just to put numbers to it. And the 9.8 that we proposed, is a $24,000 increase total. Total for all of us. To have a 9.8 to the base, 9 for principals, 8 for assistants, is $24,000 total. That is a minimal expense for a district with a budget like ours.
When the health insurance obviously
It
is
is
just 56,000,
$24,000.
so still the district is coming way out ahead.
And that's not an issue.
Nobody can argue that.
I
Sorry,
mean-
can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
I said, nobody can argue the fact that the money that we're saving now with the health insurance changes, okay, are way offset by the amount, the 9,000 and 8,000 that we recommended, you know, is a substantial savings to the district. Nobody can say we can't afford this because the money is already there, okay? There will be savings for the district for many years to come.
Coupled with the offer to give up your 15 days.
Yes.
Correct.
Can we put the sheet that, Kelly sent over?
I don't have that one, do I,
Oh.
Kelly? Let him send it to me. He has to.
So he
email
sent
it.
over earlier this week, we requested, a little bit further breakdown so that we could see, I think we got 2-year projection on here, 3-year on some of them, of what it would look like if we stayed at status quo. And it's a little complicated because some people have days, some people don't. And then he projected out, that one out 2 years, but then he went and projected the 9.8 base addition out 3 years, the 7.6 addition out 3 years, and the 6.6 out 3 years. And I mean, just kind of looking at it, to me, the 9.8 looks the most equal, the most, if we're gonna take something away, I don't feel like they should end up negative. And it's complicated because some people do end up further ahead than others with this scenario, but we're not, the proposal was never to save money, it was to erase these days, and like, in my opinion, the 9.8 seems like the most fair, swap.
I want to be
guess.
clear too, that with Kelly, Andrea, and I giving up our days, that's another 45 days added to what the principals are giving, and I'm not taking anything back, so that part will actually be just free to the district. So that is a lot of days to give back. That's about $22,000 there that's coming back if that's approved.
And that value would just compound in those days.
And so like Andrea agreed to her part, that's what she was getting, but she will not ever get that much again. She gets a 1.5% step every year, but there will be no raises. It'll just be the 1.5%, so.
Don, I just think another one too that kind of puts all of those scenarios.
All of this? Okay, let me close this one. I want to make sure that we have, I didn't know which one Jackie was wanting up there.
I don't
Oh,
know.
dang it.
I think it's
Sure,
important too, for,
opinions.
sorry, go ahead, Jackie, I didn't mean to.
Well, I just think, I mean, along with what you guys are saying, I just think the morale, and I know we're gonna need to explain this to the public. I think the issue we need to worry about more moving forward is just making sure that we're very clear, because the public may take this and run a different direction. But I think as long as we explain very clearly in our upfront presenting it, the morale for the personnel,
Yeah.
I just think it's gonna be really detrimental if we go negative. That's just my.
Yeah. Go behind. and
Go
do it.
behind, I think the morale to the administration would be harmful. I know we need to deal with the public, but I hope we can, make it very clear so that the public has a good understanding. I'm sure people will disagree, but as long as we make it clear.
And I think for the majority of your administrative staff, because of their longevity and service of years, they're still not coming out ahead. You know, with insurance and giving up their days, they're all, most of them are still taking a loss.
Like
To benefit the greater good of the group. They are willing to do that, you know, for the morale, for the equity. So I think that's important that the public knows that, there's, you know,
Mr.
We're still
Chairman.
making less, like I am.
Mr. Chairman.
well, most of them.
Yeah, almost everybody.
Yes, Pam?
As far as explaining this to the public, I think our priority needs to be making sure that the administrative staff is content moving forward with what we decide. As far as what other school districts are doing, I believe we're the only school district in the area who didn't have to lay off teachers this year. And that means,
And as of today, sorry, Pam, as of today, we're fully staffed.
so as far as I'm concerned, our public needs to take pride in this school and the fact that we don't have to operate like the schools around us do. So that's an important factor. And then thinking long-term with teacher retirement and what happens when people retire, this is all gonna benefit their retirement in the long run by having this based on their salary. So they might be sacrificing a little bit at this time, but they're really benefiting from what their ultimate retirement package is gonna look like when they get into retirement. So, you know, I realize that there are household expenses for everybody right now, and those have to be met. And we do need to be fair about how we restructure this pay and benefits package. But there is a huge benefit on the tail end of retirement for people who are gaining a larger base salary. I mean, I know
Absolutely.
I know educators who go back and get degrees just so for the last 3 years that they're teaching, they're at a higher salary, so their retirement's higher. So, you know, and I realize that it's a struggle right now trying to make sense out of your life based on what you're making now and how that doesn't offset your expense for health insurance and all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry we're in this position, I really am. It just kind of breaks my heart. But that's my 2 cents.
Yes, Doug?
I need to be very clear on something here. This point keeps coming up that we need to consult a tax lawyer. Lori and I spent probably an hour and a half on a Zoom meeting with the MTSBA tax lawyer. He's brilliant. So this idea that we just did this and I came to you and said, oh, what we're doing is illegal and we're going to do this has to stop. And I agree with Jenny. It's my job and my degree and my training to say we need to do something. I've never not said that. But I also said that what we were told was this was illegal and we had to correct it. I never hid that. But that came from a tax attorney that you guys pay thousands of dollars a year to listen to. So this thing coming from that we're not doing this and we need to hire an HR person and that needs to stop. This is something that the board can work through. I would not misguide you and say we're not doing this. This is going to eat us alive. I told you guys yesterday why I'm here, and I wouldn't do that to you. And I do agree that we need to find something here and get some closure on here because it's a lot for me too. Because I care about these guys as much as I care about you guys, and we need to figure this out because I don't want this to be a rift that we can't fix, and I don't think that's where we're at. It's just frustration with not getting to a point of closure. I also understand why you guys don't want to rush into something and then say, oh my God, we made a mistake. I get that, but I think that we have to have a working session where we start looking at these numbers and say, okay, if we do this, how much is this? What's the dollar amount it's going to cost? These percentages don't make sense if you don't see what that dollar amount is. And I don't care if Cole gets a $6,000 raise, if we come to something that is fair. Because then at least Cole's not sitting there going, well, I didn't even know what they were talking about, and now they're taking it away.
Why am I coming to this meeting?
No, but I mean,
And on that note, guys, we care about you so much, that's why it's taking so long.
Yeah.
We don't wanna give you a raw deal.
And we don't want to make a
Thank you.
knee-jerk reaction either.
Thank you.
And the other thing is that we want to, my biggest thing is recruitment and retention.
yeah.
That's huge. We have, Jenny's the longest administrator, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Kelly.
not in this district.
In the district,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, people that, and we want to grow our culture of grow your own. So, and that, and if, I mean, I know there's a few people that sitting out there that are 3-4 years out from retirement. how do we backfill those positions if we can't take care of our people now? Are you raising your hand because you're deucing, Kelly, or do you have a question?
See ya.
I got a comment, I mean, you know, sitting back and kind of looking at this is really, I mean, this is nobody's fault. This is just one of those things that happen, and here we are. You know, Dawn and I would have rather not had that since April
Yeah.
run through, but it's here, and I think we've had some ups and downs, and I mean, by listening to everybody tonight, I think we've kind of leveled off a little bit on where we're at, and we've had 90 different pieces of information going with it. We've heard from about everybody, and so, you know, just like the administrator said, it's just the only unfortunate part is coming into the year with it again, and we just want to move forward with it one way or another.
So Josh,
If you look at it, sorry,
Josh, I have a question. I mean, so what happens if we I know you talked about the illegal part of
The health
but
benefit.
The health,
yeah.
it was the health benefits, it's not the 15 days,
Nope.
correct? So the 15 days
If-
what is the urgency of getting rid of their 15 days? Why not just keep it as is for this year? Keep their pay, whatever it is, and they keep their 15 days, they keep their 5 days, and we move on this year. They move on with life, we move on, we can have further discussion. I mean,
well,
is
then,
that-
They kinda wanted
Because
to,
they're taking.
so what, I mean, I guess what,
because we kick it down the road for another 365 days.
They need to be compensated in some way so that
for
they,
what?
But
15 days,
they-
they can keep their 15, I'm
they
saying
have to
not
pay-
everybody has-
has 15 days either.
they have
Correct.
to, they
But
have
that's
to,
what I'm saying, everybody keeps their.
they have to
keep it
make
what
up
it is.
they have to make up the difference of the health insurance out of their salaries.
Do they? I mean, and I'm not,
Yeah.
sorry, don't take me the wrong way. The reason why I say that is because I've talked to many teachers below who works for them, and they weren't compensated.
Yes,
for-
Yes, they were.
Jamie, that's a wrong
I know the
statement.
contract-
They negotiated this,
12,000 to the base when they gave up, when they
they
went
gave
to
up their
single-
family insurance in a negotiated unit. That's why I said teachers and paras that are in unions cannot be considered as part of this conversation. They negotiate a dollar amount for their benefit. Their plan did not change. They gave up their family insurance to add 12% to their base over a 3-year process. So in this last year, their raise was 12% over those 3 years. That was a choice. And the union president reached out to me and said, I want people to stop calling me. We have nothing to do with this. And that was her advice from the state union president. Stop getting involved in this. We have nothing to say about administrative salaries. So that's what I mean, Jamie. The conversations out there are misleading and uneducated, and they need to stop because it's not fair for you.
Well, I'm just
but
saying, but
it's
that's,
not fair for
so
you to get
what
that
we're talking
information.
about as far as like the morale and things like that.
Culture.
Then that needs to be addressed with your person, you know, your personnel, because that is the feedback that I'm getting. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So I'll back that with a couple of things, and I just talked to Jackie about this at 5:30, that the administration used to get the same raises as the teachers. So that was just a standing thing, and that was a good idea, that we didn't get more, we didn't get less. We stopped doing that at that time when they lost their insurance and they got a 542 or 543, or whatever they had, because of that. Because they lost that benefit, and they got a little bit bigger raises at that time. You know, I think everybody, as far as your question going back to moving forward on it, I think it just keeps on going. I think the answer is get rid of the days and put something on the base that is acceptable for the admin.
We all want resolution on this.
Yeah, I know.
And Jamie, I can share with you the
I'm
emails
positive.
from MTSBA that said ethically, you should offer something to offset the loss of all of this. The only thing they have to negotiate with are their 15 days, and they have to do it individually. They can't come to us, a group, and say, we want this, and we have to do it. We literally could not sit here and go, we're gonna give you all this. We would have to send that out to them individually. Once if the board makes a decision, that has to be emailed to them individually and said, here's your offer, do you accept it or not? We
Because-
literally can't take a group because they're not allowed to collectively bargain.
as
They can
per-
speak as a group, but they cannot agree to this without us sending an individual email saying, here is what you get, or here's what we're offering.
So, can I ask a quick question? On the matrix, and I understand adding to the base, which then changes the
Steps.
steps, right?
Yep.
So individually, what I hear, I understand the individually and if we add a amount to the base, we're adding amount to each step.
Yes.
Okay, so individually, they have the ability to negotiate where they're at on that step.
No.
Within reason, why can't you?
The step is just years. So you go, if you're, so, look at, if you're looking at Gwen Poole, so she's A2, next year she'll be A3, and then she'll be
But when she
84.
started, she had the ability to negotiate, you guys had the ability to
No,
negotiate her.
absolutely not.
Nobody ever gave
I-
us
I
that.
did not get my years of experience.
No.
I was told this is what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So there's no.
That's what we're trying to
We
correct.
no, we
this.
didn't have that.
Okay,
No.
thanks.
Lacey,
And,
that-
I mean, there were some people that had come in, that came in from out of district, that were to get 5 years, so they
Yeah.
started off at an A5. There were some, but in the district, they weren't. They
Gotcha,
weren't able to.
okay. I'm just trying to understand how, I mean, I understand what you guys are saying and it's a morale problem. But what I'm not sure I fully get is the sustainability and the whole putting it to everybody, right? Like individually, you guys should have the ability to negotiate, but it sounds like there's a proposal to give everybody this.
And it's a whole difference between the 9.8 and the 8.7, it's $8,000. So, I mean, I don't really think that's even a question.
I would
And
also,
Gotcha.
I would also,
Thank you, board chair.
I would also say with, again, the proposal of the 9.8 that we had shared, that still is a savings of 31,000. And so when we think about that's already a savings of 31,000, if the benefit package was the same 3 years from now, the district is still saving 29,000, let's say 27,000. And so over time, you're still saving.
And then the savings of the compounding value of the days that we're going to
Also,
give up.
I didn't even account for that.
Yeah, so when we give up these days right now, they would be worth more next year. So that value will keep compounding. So if you're gonna look at the base for 3 years, you have to also look at the value of the days and what they would do. And it about evens,
And that's why we went with the 3-year projections, is so that we wouldn't be going back to the admin team and
Yeah.
talking about raises. They get the regular steps,
The
Gwen's gonna get
1.5.
an A3, A4, A5, you could be A5 by the end of this, right, Gwen?
Yeah. 3
So-
more years.
3 years.
If you guys can cash those days, you guys can cash those days out twice a year, right? Is that?
Once a year, at the end.
Well,
Well, you can
So-
do half at Christmas and half at the end of the year, whatever, yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's almost like
It's the summer.
arguing
check,
that the
wasn't
days are a better deal. What would you guys rather do? Keep your days or do the step raise?
it? Nikki,
I mean, if you had,
not like really truly thinking about my assistant and our new guy, right? Like I want these people around. And so for them to not ever see an increase in vacation days while we all are, I would rather not have that. I would rather just keep
Level
it simple.
25.
We have the matrix, that's the benefit.
and this doesn't affect your normal vacation accrual,
No,
correct?
not the
This
legal
is-
accrual.
it
No.
doesn't affect.
This is
the
completely
discretionary.
something different.
And I
Okay.
just think it needs to be said again, that speaks volumes for the character of these people, because they all could fend for themselves, and us newbies would be just kind of stuck where we are. But ethically, like Nikki said, they are invested in us, and we wanna operate as a team. But when we start doing things individually, that's when you're pitting each other against each other, and it breaks down your team.
Nikki, Don
Which
has
is
a question for
exactly
you.
Is
what
it the-
happened with Andrea's salary that we talked about the last board meeting. That didn't make any of us feel good. That we were talking about her salary and the rest of us were on one side, you know, that's not how we wanna operate.
But you guys have to understand, she was removed from your matrix and put into a director's category, so
But
she's
that's
no
what we're
longer
saying, is
in
we don't
this,
want it
yeah.
to be like
No,
that between us.
there was nothing divisive there, we moved her off of that matrix,
Right,
we had
we
to
all
clean
start
that
doing
up.
that inside of our
Yeah.
group, that's what we're
But
saying.
Nikki, on the 31,000, is that just you guys, or is that adding in the 15 or 45 days from Kelly and Andrea and I?
No, that's just
So it'd be more
us.
like 52,000 if you add the 21,000 from us in. Because I'm getting nothing back, I don't want anything back.
But I,
And Kelly will not get $6,000 next year, he gets the one time, just like Andrea, and then it's a 1.5% like everybody else. Or no, Kelly, and I'll be frozen until I'm done. Not literally, but on salary.
If we look at the numbers themselves, I'm gonna pick on Gwen again, if that's all right. So 24-25, she's looking at 93,383. With her day payout, she's looking at 94,989. If we got rid of her days and added the 9,000 to 8,000, the 9,000 to the base, by year 3, she's at 96,244. If we go by year 3 at 7.6, she's at 92,538. So she's actually taking a pay cut with
Yeah.
the 7.6.
Yeah, that's what Jenny's been trying to say.
I'm just trying to use numbers, Gwen.
I appreciate it, 'cause I saw 'em. They're like, we've been talking numbers, we're here.
So, and then,
It's even
Mr.
worse.
Goyette, you okay? Okay, so, well, I wanna ask permission. His number's 99,426, with his days is 1,101,034. With the 9,000 year 1, he's getting an extra $8, if my math is right. So by year 3, he's at 104, but if we go to year 3 at 7.6, he finally made what he was making before.
Yeah.
By year 3, by,
3 more years from now.
yeah, by,
To make what he's making now.
well, no, he'll be
27.
making $800 more. I mean, that's a nice,
In 3 years.
yes. And then Cole over here, can I use you, Cole?
You've been talking about me, so go ahead.
With no days, I mean, he's gonna be the most beneficial of this
No,
entire
so-
thing with 78,709.
That's for the year.
With,
That's what
25-26 with the
A2,
base,
this is A3.
he will be
Yes, so that's already counting
83,824.
It's not counting the ones in it.
So that's,
So they can't like.
So
I
still
mean,
not
he's the one that's kind of picking up the most
It might change if like.
benefit here. I mean,
Which we
Mr.
want
Goya,
him, he's brand new, we want to replace ourselves that are close with good quality people.
and Mr. Goyette and Miss Fox, you guys are the ones that are,
Longest, the highest on their staff.
you're the highest on with A7s, right? Or
Jeez,
A7s
imagine
with
if Tobin would've put me at A9, where'd I go?
Well, he's not here and we can't go back and do that, now can we? So, let's stay positive and focus on the task at hand.
It was funny, come on.
So I guess me personally, I have no problem with the 9.8, looking at the numbers themselves. Because we're gonna take a little hit, but in 3 years, they'll be back up to where they're at. Or they'll be making a little bit more. Miss Poole finally be, she'll have a $2,000 bump by the end of the 3rd year on her base. And it benefits the people for retirement. I know there's 3 or 4 out there that are looking at it. 3 maybe. Or is this your done? Oh.
You keep telling me I'm done, I'm not done.
Oh. But it'll benefit those people, and we can finally get past this days thing, and it'll help with recruitment, retention, which we're trying to fix our culture, and that's what we're focusing on this year. That's the big thing. Recruitment and retention and culture. I just, not even looking at I know I'm gonna probably make somebody mad, but not even looking at the insurance part of it, the 9.8 is a win for this district.
I don't really understand the controversy why we aren't just doing it.
Well, because we can't just
we also didn't have this chart up
Yeah.
until this
Yeah.
week, and this
Yeah.
really, for me,
This helps.
This sealed the deal for me as far as like looking at the numbers, seeing where it was, what's fair.
Can we
But
put
that-
this
I'm
on
just-
next week's agenda?
I-
Before it goes public? Or do you wanna have
Can
another?
we make a
Text you
motion?
right now that we each individually accept it?
I will send out, if Josh gives me permission, I'll send out an email saying this is the offer from the board, so we can get that done, but I wanna know if we want to have, just so we know where we're going.
Me personally, I'd like to be done with this tonight,
Me too.
100%.
Could I make a
You can
motion?
sign a piece of paper.
To where the fact that, because what, is anybody missing?
No, everybody's here.
How can we make, no.
Approve administration compensation proposal, we can.
But there was no.
We're doing the proposal right now.
Could I make a motion?
There's an action item on the agenda.
What would the public want to say?
I,
Well,
I,
not
It's your
till
guys'
motions.
job.
what's that?
He asked if I had comments, and I said not till a motion.
I guess I have something to say. I'm good with 9.8 'cause it's what's best for the group, but I'm still making about $5,000 less. So I have to somehow factor that in to my budget, my family, for the rest of my life. But it's what's best for the group, so I will go with it, but I just do want that to be known, that this is still a huge hit for me and my household.
We know that, Rob. We know that.
Well,
I know.
I'd say it.
I know. But I want you to know that we hear you.
So actually, we could do a motion because it is an agenda action item. It would be item 3.
Do you want to have it up there? Yeah.
Is there any more trustees? I'm gonna ask Corey if he has any questions.
Nope, I'm good.
I'm gonna ask Stacy if she has any questions.
I don't. This is just a terrible situation. I hate it for you all.
I do have one question. Kelly, those numbers that you sent over, is that just the steps or is that with the 1 or 2% added on it?
You can.
There's no one.
That's just the steps?
The steps are the 1%.
There's nothing else added
Okay.
to that.
That's why we put the number.
So will there be, so they'll get their steps every year, so if we add 9 or 8 to the base,
There don't have to be, every year is how it goes.
Yeah, that's what I was-
We've either been on 0 or 1.
Because it would be a one-time
yeah,
thing.
okay,
It wouldn't benefit.
that's what I was curious.
With the exception of the steps, I mean, does
Yeah.
everybody understand, as soon as it goes down, you're 1.5,
And we
right?
get the benefit of that.
You know, just like, so they can move down or they can move over to another
Why
1.
can't we take some of
But
that
teachers
fifty-two
can
and
go
add it to their base?
down
Well, that's what we're gonna do. That's what the
or
9.8
over
is.
Yep,
too.
Well, why can't we do more?
Yes.
and if we
Then it
do
goes
a,
to where they're making
if they do
And then we have a
4%
that was as high as we
on the
could go,
base,
and they all know that.
yeah.
We met on that the very
Yeah,
first time.
steps we can't do because
explains it.
that's
Yeah.
the negotiated.
And I told Kelly, I don't care, but I
It's a
don't want him to
guarantee.
do it, because they'd be making more than we
It
do.
shows
And that would be a mess for the district.
the people that stay, it shows that we value them.
And just partly, cost of living in general. I mean, that's, what the matrix also is designed just to.
If it was to reflect cost of living, it would have been a 14% 2 years ago. Just saying.
There's there's a reason I'm not on the budget committee.
Yes.
I'm a spender.
Yes.
So my only question is without, savings, of course, important, critical. But is this the best we can do? Is this the best we should do? I mean, I guess it was a proposal, so.
That was my question.
Pam asked that as well.
That- I
We
was
have,
just
we
asking
have to
that.
be careful, one second. We have to be careful because when we ran some of the numbers, and it's not the principal's fault, but the people that have been here for a while, in a few years will be making more than I do. And we had to be careful with how we balance that out, because that puts you guys in a pretty bad situation in 3 years when you're trying to find a superintendent. I'm lowballing you guys because I said I would do that, and I'm standing by that, but when I get ready to leave, you're gonna have to look at what you can pay a superintendent to come in, and I'm not doing that for glory, I'm doing that because I'm at the end of my career.
Is there any way to make And maybe if we open that can of worms, it's a whole nother can of worms, but is there any way to make Mr. D straight?
Well, I'm gonna throw
They're
this
all
out there,
gonna
and I
take-
don't wanna be disrespectful in any way, Dawn, but
No.
there's also teachers who make more
Than
than
principals do.
the administrators.
We
And I
have to be careful of that too.
way more schooling, and as, you know, I mean, it's, again, the career ladder, you know, I mean, there's usually a hierarchy for a reason. And again, you can't take years away from people, right? And the teachers who have been here for 30 years, great, I mean, that's amazing, and they should make what they make. But also, there's generally an order of, you know, if you're in a supervisor role, you generally make more than, you know,
Your highest
the
paid
people below
teacher.
you, so
I have
it's
some ideas, Jackie, on how to make
it's
that.
not just all, you know.
I mean, if it costs the district for Mr. D, so that's $500 a month, we're, you know, $6,000 a year. I mean,
Alls I'm telling you, alls I'm gonna say is that,
We go back to the individual
Yeah,
contract.
yeah,
yeah,
that goes back to
Individual
individual.
negotiation, so that's why I'm very confused. I mean, they come in collectively, they can come, did any of them come to you individually?
I have all their
other than-
individual proposals,
Okay,
yes.
they
Yeah,
do.
They do. They can speak like this, but they
Okay,
cannot
so then
accept.
why is that not on the
Because it's to the
agenda?
matrix.
So why did that not come to the agenda from you to see if we can approve what they negotiated with you?
Because their original proposal was very high. It was 12.
No, I was just asking after our last budget meeting. Was there anybody who came to you to negotiate their contract to,
Not individually, no. They met as a group and then they made individual, what do you have now? What's in front of you now? That stuff that they were working on. But that hadn't come to the board yet. That just came to you guys and Jackie just did some of it today, so. The
Again, because we're
spreadsheet.
trying to not get into individual.
but he
Yeah.
made it very,
Battles.
but he
Yeah.
did make it clear that you guys need to come individually.
Yeah.
Right?
everybody
Not
has to sign
trying
their
to
contract.
step on each
individually.
other.
So,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is he had
Yeah.
asked clearly
Yeah.
that this is an individual
But we can
contract.
only do one thing to the matrix, Jamie. We can't add a 9.8 for me and an 8.7 for somebody. You can't change the
But that's
matrix like
what I'm
that.
saying, like, if
Yeah.
you guys went to Dawn,
Actually, they came to Josh and I.
yeah.
Yeah.
We met with them.
So-
Mr. Goyette,
So when we did the numbers, as an admin team, and we, looked at it, we were not taking Cole's position into account, and we did have a higher number as we were looking at it. And then once we factored in Cole's, you know, compensation to the team, we looked at it and we're like, that's just, obviously this would be a loss to the district. We would never recommend that, you know, a loss to the district in this
Yeah.
matter. So then we came back, you know, to Kelly and said, hey, this is a number, the 9.8, that we feel like would be, the district would gain. We all would feel comfortable, everybody agreed to it, even knowing that we were losing, because it's better for the collective whole. So just wanted to answer that, Stacy, because you had asked about, can we do more? And I think as an admin team, we are comfortable with that number, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
and we,
I'm so uncomfortable saving at the expense of any single one of you. I hate this for you guys.
but the way Mr. Goyette's looking at it is we added more help to the high school by adding a position.
We didn't add.
We replaced it.
Oh, no, we were, sorry, I misspoke, but we
It was-
filled
We
the
also have
position.
Yeah.
so many more kids, like,
Yes.
you know, the ratios, not that we're getting more. it's
But
just-
yes, it does add value.
Of course it does.
Sorry, Cole. I'm just-
Cole, it's not
I
awkward.
haven't
though.
decided
It's
yet.
not awkward.
The hard part about it is we've got to look at, we've got a $300,000 deficit right now.
Yeah, and we're coming into even more.
Yes, they deserve way more than what they're asking for,
Yeah.
but
But we also need a school to
Function.
have function so that we can.
I did not know that.
And we're coming into transportation.
Yeah, and teacher negotiations.
And teacher
stuff. So we have to be
negotiations starts
aware
this
of
year.
everything, and I know we don't compare those,
We gotta
but they
look
still are
long-term.
factors, so.
You know I don't do that, Shane.
And also for the next 2 years, $30,000 of my salary will be paid with a grant, so we'll have that savings as well to try to start to offset some of it. It's not a bunch, but it helps. It's a third of my salary for the next 2 years, so. All right,
Can we propose
You
it?
can make a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the 8.9 removing, 8,000, 9,000 proposal and remove days, is that, I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, you're doing good.
To the principal
Vice principal.
and vice principal, based.
Would you like to put in Dawn's and Kelly's as well?
We can do that?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can add that to your motion.
I don't know, that's a whole nother topic, I don't, do we need to have a, yes, add them? I don't know, I
Make a
feel like
motion,
I can't make that discussion, I'm not.
Okay, we
prepared to
can do
make
them
that.
separate.
Sorry.
It'll get confusing. Yeah.
Okay, I got a first from Jackie and a second from Corey.
Are we saying just to offer that exact same?
We're gonna offer it,
Okay.
but it will not be
But to
approved.
Dawn and Kelly.
No,
Oh,
mine's,
no.
let's do theirs
No, you
first,
said
yeah.
principal and vice principal.
Yep, we're gonna do a
We're just
separate
sticking with theirs right now.
motion for them. But we cannot, we will agree on this, that we're okay with this number, with this motion. They are gonna be the ones that are gonna have to text Dawn and say, I agree with that, thank you. Please change my contract.
Except,
So,
But you're adding it, not, you're approving tonight to add $9,000 and $8,000 to the base.
yes,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
clear.
And just for clarification.
to offer,
They're offered, you guys have to accept.
they have to accept it.
No, it's permanent. I mean, their negotiation aside should be aside, right? Like, you guys are approving a new matrix tonight with $9,000 and $8,000 as the base.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, that's what
You're
we're,
right.
Okay.
you're right.
Yeah, Macy, you're
And
right.
removing.
It does
days.
create a new matrix once their contracts are issued, yeah. Or once they approve, if they accept that, then yeah.
then they're on the approved.
What if only half of them accept? Does that change? I mean,
All right, well, I don't even wanna get into, yeah, I
Okay.
don't wanna, yeah, no.
Lori?
To clarify, this is a move to approve an offer of 8,000 to the principals and 9,000 to the assistant
No,
principals.
that
Other
way
way
around.
around.
Other way
Other
around.
way around.
In exchange for the forfeiture of vacation payout days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
Vacations.
So does everybody understand the motion?
Yes.
Any discussion from the public? Lacey?
Yeah, so I guess just first of all, wanna thank the board for all of the work on this. I know it's not been easy. The admin team, I know that it's not been easy either. I think that, you know, my frustration just as a public is coming in unprepared. To be able to speak to an 8, 9, 10, 12, any of that. So I'm glad that you guys are coming to a resolution, and I would highly recommend that if it's 8, 9 to the base, that individually you work with your admin team on, you know, negotiation, because we don't want to lose any of you. So thank you all, budget people and board members, for this. I know it's not been easy, so thank you.
Thank you. Discussion from the board for the motion.
I do have a question. What does that look like on the budget end? Where does that put us?
Jenny is at the 24,000.
Where does?
It saves us money.
Correct, but do we have a spreadsheet on like the dollar amount?
That is, Kelly, is it one of these you sent me? Or is it the other one I pulled up? It's the other one I pulled up that
Yeah,
just had the
It's the
dollar
very
amounts.
first one that I sent you from.
Okay, let me go back. It's, is it this one? It's right there, Jamie. Is that big enough? I can't see. Here, let, Jamie. There you go. So that's what Jenny was talking about, the 25,000. It goes from 714 to 739. And the payout for that savings would be 35,000. This is the savings by not having the payout the vacation days.
And that is for next year.
Yeah, that would be this next year, what they would take home, yeah, at the end of the year, if they were paid out the vacation.
And that's why we're trying to get it done now.
And Lisa needs time to get
Because
contracts done. and you
Lisa can
guys-
do contracts and I can sign them tomorrow or whenever Lisa has them done.
And then
They can be up, sign their contracts, and this will be for the 24-25 year.
And then
Jamie, but it's pretty good.
the 35,000, add the 21,000 from Kelly, Andrea and I into that as well, because we will not be receiving that either. So that's about $56,000 that'll be coming back at the end of this year. And Kelly, I'll get a bump, Andrea got a bump, but it's still not gonna take up that $60 or $56,000.
Kelly's actually taking a cut.
Yeah.
So is Dawn.
That's fine.
That's okay.
I got broad shoulders. I can't eat much anyway, so.
It was never proposed, but is that potentially something we wanna look at doing?
What's
Is
that?
offering the same offer to you guys, or?
Nope, they
Oh,
can't,
they've agreed. Okay, I just was confused when you brought it up.
no, this is what they wanted. I
Okay.
tried
We
to
did it
tell.
just to try to help out with the offset, the,
We have to get some things moving here to get the district ahead. We
I
have
tried to get
start.
Don
I
to
just
take
wanna
more
make
on the
sure
pay, and
we're-
he said,
And thank you, Jackie, thank you, but no, we're good.
this is what they want, and that's the only option they'll take, is what I was told. Any other discussion? All those in favor of adding 9,000 to the principal and 8,000 to the assistant, vice principal? Say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion passes.
Jamie, do you want me to send you this?
Now, if you would like to do another motion for Dawn and Kelly,
You guys tell me no, and I guess I'm confused, I don't know.
oh no,
I'll make
we,
a motion
Oh.
to approve the proposals for Dawn and Kelly.
okay, I have a motion to approve the $6,000 additional to Kelly's base and turning Dawn's days from 15 payout to
Oh, this one, okay.
15 use it or lose it
Okay.
from Stacy. Do I have a second?
Second,
Lots of them.
Corey can have it.
Okay,
Lots of seconds.
I'm gonna give it to Corey. So I have a first from Stacy and a second from Corey to add $6,000 to Mr. Kinsey's base salary and to turn Dawn's from 15 days of payout at the end of the year to 15 days of use it or lose it for vacation.
Just want to clarify, it's not vacation days.
It's the
It's personal.
personal days, sorry, thank you, yes. He still has his additional 15 days.
He actually
Third.
he accrues
Yes,
sick and vacation according to state law in two separate things. So he can't by law, can't have another vacation bucket, it's personal.
okay.
You just have to be careful.
Oh,
with wording.
so yeah,
So
Lori
we're
will know
gonna-
how to word that.
We're gonna be changing it from payout to personal days. Okay,
So 15 personal, use them or lose them days. Okay,
Okay.
that's fine. I don't care what you call them, use them or lose them.
discussion from the,
If you read my answers, that tells
Yeah, I have a quick comment on that, just because I know, I appreciate Dawn and Kinsey for that. I wanna remind everybody that Dawn's negotiation was different. And so I appreciate him changing this, but I also caution him to change this. As we've heard, he's a low-paid administrator. He has, not personal days, he has the sick accrued days,
Mhm.
and now personal days that are either use it or lose it. And that, to me, is a worrisome for burnout. So, I don't agree with him giving it up, but I just wanted to provide my comment because that was negotiated with him when we made the offer. And that should be kind of separate from any other discussion, just like the teachers are different from the admin. The admin is different than the superintendent. So I do appreciate, Dawn, you leading by example, but I want the board members to just know that that was negotiated and I'm concerned with giving those up for Dawn.
I appreciate that, Lacey.
we tried to get him to take money. He wouldn't. So, me and Kelly will be hard on him to actually take vacation days.
Going to Vegas in November, just so you know.
Let's plan another one then.
Maui in April.
There you go.
On to Japan from Maui, just not this year.
Any other discussion from the public? Discussion on the motion from the board? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimous.
Now it just goes to a contract rewrite and your signature on it, and we're done with the
Yes.
issue? It doesn't come back to the board?
Nope.
Okay.
And I want the board to know that now my contract, and I know what Lacey's saying, this was like the one perk we added in there because there wasn't a whole lot to my contract, but my contract now is what other superintendents get. They get use them or lose them days, and it's kind of a little, here's a bone. Some people have 31 use them or lose them days, which I think is ridiculous, but I do appreciate you changing those and then getting this so that we're now all clear of this. And it's like, now we can move on, and I hope that the principals understand that we care about you guys. And I know it wasn't everything, and we'll work on what we can do for Rob to make up that difference. We'll figure out what we can do. But, I know,
Like
but.
what you keep saying, Rob, that divides it.
But no, but I know what Rob is saying too, because for him, it's a different thing that is for me. And so I just want him to know we heard him. We'll see what we can do to help the family, but for everybody, it's equal now. Everybody got that same amount. Please text me and say you accept it so that we can get your contracts rewritten so Lisa doesn't pull her hair out. So
We still need to email you.
email or text, either one, saying you accept it so I can print it out and put that in your
File.
personnel file.
Moving on to the request to hire.
Oh, sorry.
I will be abstaining from this vote because my
Yes.
sister-in-law is volleyball, middle school.
Oh, yeah. We are hiring a custodian tonight. And our last two high school teachers. BOAG is back on the menu.
I move we approve the new hire.
Are these stipend positions
Which ones?
that we're approving tonight?
The coaching, yeah.
The coaching, yeah, the other ones look like they're mostly high school.
They're mostly high school teachers, yeah. And the
You guys are
custodian.
needy.
We're
That
fully
was
staffed.
desperate. It's not
But you guys, look what happened just waiting that extra month. I mean, seriously, you have quality people.
I have great.
I know. I
So-
don't have any, so there you
I
go.
have a first from Jamie to approve the request for hire.
I'll second.
Second from Corey. You have me as an abstention, Lori? All those in favor?
Could we have some discussion?
Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm so sorry. Discussion from the public? Discussion from the board?
I have a question, Mr. Chairman. The stipends for the coaches, is that already in the activities budget?
Yes.
To pay these salaries, so we aren't adding any
Nope.
These are all
budgetary
replacements.
costs to
These were
the
all
school?
open positions that we needed to fill.
And they've been
for.
budgeted,
Yep.
so we won't be adding to the school
They're all
budget for
replacements.
this. Okay, I'm good.
All right, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you, Jamie. I just got your text. They're, FYI, they're doing it right now. We had open enrollment students,
Just one.
just one. Kelly, do you wanna?
Say 36.
136.
136.
This is one of the ones that had moved out of district, that was here, has been here the whole career, and they just bought another house somewhere.
And what grade is the student in?
High school,
A lot of questions.
I think, maybe, I don't know.
9, 10?
High school.
But a long-term Lockwood student.
And there was nothing about them that would have kicked him out, okay. I
Maybe it's
motion
not
to
high school. They're on the next one.
approve.
So, is this a high school student?
I don't think it is. They lived here, they bought a house somewhere else in there. It's not.
Motion to
Not yet.
approve open enrollment application for student 136.
I'll second.
We had a first from Jackie and a second from Pam on approval of out of district student 136. Discussion from the public? Discussion from the board? And next year we will be running two. We're gonna run one in July and then one in Yes.
April, July.
April and July, thank you.
And we should not have any of those.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously.
She's got it.
Okay, we adjourn. I got a first from Jamie.
Second.
Well, no, I got a second from him already.
I didn't hear you.
I didn't hear him either. He's a little quiet.
From Shane.
No.
I got a
Oh,
first
I
from,
took my
I got a first from
second.
Jamie and a second from Shane on
That's fine.
adjournment. Discussion from the public, discussion from the board. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, now we got a work session, guys.
Where are you going? Everyone's leaving.
You don't wanna hang out?
Yeah, we got the 2025 budget work session.
Guys, okay, guys, it was in the proposal, you have to stay and review the budget book. Didn't you read it? Did you already text?
Hey, thank you for your patience while we work through this, guys.
Bye, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Get some rest, you're gonna have a busy day tomorrow, I promise you.
Where are we at?
Be in here.
Have fun tomorrow.
Rest up.
Jenny, you have a new roof, though. New roof.
Oh, I have a new roof.
Yeah.
On your feet on this.
Well, it was new 5 years ago. It's used now. We're lucky that's all we had is a couple leaks in roofs with that wind. It
Oh
was
my
like-
gosh. Yeah.
All right, Lori, you're up.
Okay, Lori, what do you want me to pull up? Which one
I want
first?
you to pull up first the trustee's financial statement.
Why is my email closed? I can't keep.
books. I don't have them, I just got taxable value last night.
Yeah.
So I had to quickly update everything, so. This is just a review, we'll have your books for the board meeting. And if they're done sooner, I'll let you know, so you can pick them up. But this is just the electronic version for tonight, just so you can get an idea.
I don't like that one.
Oh, it was nice meeting you. Cole's gone.
I know. He's a little overwhelmed. It was his first day.
What's that?
Lori, save the paper, I don't need a hard copy.
You gotta tell what's her face.
Lisa.
Lisa.
Okay.
Okay, where, Lori, what did I do with this? We're doing the book first, correct?
We're doing the trustees report first.
TFS?
I'm quickly gonna show you that.
This one, Lori?
It is for
Okay.
those who don't
She
know
asks,
what it
every
is.
year she asks, do you want hard copy or do you want electronic?
You'll be approving
I thought you
this at the
replied to
board
it.
meeting next week.
I thought you replied to it.
Lori, I'm trying
No.
something here to see if I can make it
just now
bigger.
opened it. I just thought,
What is
I'm
it?
opening it with Google Docs. I hope it doesn't change it. If it does, I'll go back to the original, but. Perfect, now you can all see it. Okay, now I can make it bigger. All right, there we go.
So this is the trustee's financial statement. This is a statement that we have to do to even begin our budget, because it tells us what our cash balances are. After we we report how we spend every penny of the district's money in every fund going forward. And this is what we're audited on. It's lengthy, it's balance sheets, it's just your total revenues, total expenditures. That may be the main interest if you're interested in looking to see. It breaks it out, how we spend it for salaries, supplies, benefits, the whole 9 yards. If you're interested in that, this is a document you wanna look at, and this is for last year. In some funds, again, our balance sheet accounts will give us what our beginning balance are for cash in some funds. Some funds don't act like that, just certain funds. But if this is on your behalf, I report all of this and we keep track of it every year. It's also busted out by building. We have to expend the same amount that we do in the primaries, intermediate, middle school, and high school. And so we bust out all of our expenditures that way. We're required by the feds to do so. So this will explain that. If you have any questions, this document is for you to look at. If you want to scroll through it, you can scroll through it, and you can kind of see, it's just a lot of numbers.
And the numbers on the left, is that the code?
These are, that right there, we have to report, it gets down to the weeds of what grants are spent out.
Okay.
And at the end of an account code, those are the numbers
Yeah.
that we use to designate what those expenditures are to that grant. And so that's that first page, but if you keep scrolling down, you can, you'll come to some balance sheets. There, that, it's not looking right, but you can kind of get the idea, it goes by Fund 01, and then 10 is transportation, it goes through there. Those are just the balance sheets, and then as you go further down, Don, if you keep just kind of scrolling, then you'll see the revenues and the expenditures in kind of a summary, more of a summary. It's lengthy, it's like 72 pages.
This is in your book too, right, that we're gonna get?
You'll get a copy, if you would
Yeah.
like a copy
Yeah.
of this, I will print it out for you and you
Yeah.
can review it.
Can you just,
Otherwise, there's an electronic copy that's pretty,
yeah, just do electronic for me anyways.
pardon me?
Yeah, let Lisa know.
There's an email.
No,
Yeah.
I mean this.
But this normally goes in her book, I thought.
No, this doesn't go in.
This doesn't
the
go
It's
in
book.
the
separate, Jamie.
This-
Oh, gotcha,
So
okay.
keep scrolling down, if you go,
I'm on 12. How far down do you want me to go?
going.
I'm gonna go over here and
It's
go
not-
like this.
There you
Control
go.
F.
Okay, there you go. You can, if you go back up a little bit.
Okay.
Right here, right there, general fund. This is where then you'll start seeing our expenditures, based on function, they call it. 1,000, 1XX is instruction. I mean, this can really get in the weeds. But I will say that each account code tells a story. It tells you what fund, if it was used for instruction, if it was used by a principal, if it was used by a CTE program, if it's supplies, if it's salaries, it just really breaks things down and then further into the elementary school.
So the number on the very right, where that's the total number for the year? Go back up.
Yeah.
Right here. Hang on.
And there, and it goes,
Right there.
Don's in school foods.
Yeah.
And you can see, you can say personnel salaries,
Mhm.
see, and that's the salaries, that's the total
51,710.
amount. If you look at the regular document, this is skewing it.
This
But
is,
it'll
yeah.
have last year's and this year's.
I'm gonna have Lori email it to everybody.
Lori, I'm gonna share this
So
with the
what-
board
why
so
is
they
there
can look at
two
this one.
numbers,
Yeah, cause
Lori?
it's,
Because on this document, okay, there's the one that Don just,
forward.
Send it to everybody. Did we get rid of that second one? Lockwood board?
Yeah, this is the right one.
Okay.
I hope. It's the only one I ever pull up and it goes to you guys.
yeah, when you put it in Google Docs, they just don't come over right.
Yeah, it's you guys,
Okay.
okay. I'm gonna open it back up out of here and get rid of this one. There we go.
There, that looks better. Okay.
Oh, there, yeah, okay.
Okay, so,
Now you want me to go back down to?
yeah, scroll down.
It was
just
like
so they
21,
can
it was kind
kinda
of
give you,
roughly.
there, yeah, those are the balance sheets, you can see by the funds up there.
Oh, that
It
looks way
better.
different, okay.
Keep
And then
scrolling
we were on
until you
way,
get to
way,
the
way
general
down.
fund.
Get to like 21, I think it was.
Okay, I'm gonna look up on top of you
Go
guys.
back
There you
up,
go.
go back up,
Up.
okay. Oh, one more. There you go, so
Okay.
there's your,
Okay,
see your
there we
revenues,
go.
and you can see last year's value
Oh,
compared
yeah.
to this year's value.
Oh,
2023 to 2024. So you can see the difference of what we expended and how it kind of really breaks down. That's our revenues, that's the amount of money we got for our district levies, penalties and interest we earned, and individual tuition that we received.
So we've reduced the,
I'm sorry,
we reduced the district levy by 100,000? Yeah,
Right
That makes sense.
here, yeah.
okay,
The 1110.
District tax, yeah.
yeah.
So total, we're.
The taxable value part, she's asking, we went down on the taxable value. Remember you talked to me about
well,
that today?
we didn't collect all of our taxes this year.
Yeah.
So interest earnings, we went from 27 to 41, is that, we made,
Perks of higher interest rates.
Yeah, I made some good interest. I'm gonna
It is
invest
really
my
good
403B in this.
That's by, that's,
Don't buy a house.
you earned
They
that.
gotta be
You-
legal.
I was gonna say, that's our gain.
Yes, you earned
That's
that, you earned
income.
that money by keeping your reserves full, so that you have money in the bank for them to calculate interest on each month. Otherwise, you don't get that 41,000. Now, next year, we have to tell, when I'm doing the budget for this 25, they're gonna assume we're gonna get 41,000 again, so they're not gonna give us that
Oh.
in state monies.
Oh.
As well as our our
It's a really weird
tuition
system.
That is.
The better you
because then if
do, the
interest
better
rates
you
go
do, the
down,
more you
you've
get
got a
punished.
delay.
Yes.
The more
So
responsible
you
you
can't
are.
always count on that. You can't count on interest, but
Yeah.
And we're not going to get, well, this isn't my meeting anymore, this is Lori's meeting. So I have to raise my hand. We're not gonna get our out of district until 25,
correct.
correct?
July
So-
of
5/26.
25, 26. So we're not gonna get our out of district money from the other districts that we, all
Yeah.
those 138 kids we
A
left
year
in?
after.
Yeah.
We're a year behind on.
behind.
Does
Yes.
that come in
Wow.
July of 25, Lori?
Yes.
It's that fiscal
We'll know
year
what we'll
25
get.
when it
We'll know
starts.
what we'll get then by
Yes.
How does this seem?
So we have to float that
So they hang on
until
to our money,
stinks.
Jamie, for a
I
whole
don't know,
year.
how do this, like, think we're supposed to
Just eat it.
function on that?
I
figure it
know.
out.
When we get them for A and B, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not gonna get the out of district.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't
Oh,
get
not
that, yeah, the open, we
tuition.
don't get their money until July of 25.
And it's
So
calculated,
what is per kid that we get?
Whatever their district pays.
Whatever their.
Half of it, isn't it?
It's depends on
Yeah.
the districts.
it's the cheaper of the
It's
two,
gonna change for
correct?
each district and whatever amount is lowest.
Yes.
Dang.
So whatever we charge for out of
If
district.
ours is lower, that's what they get when we pay out. If they come here,
not the
if ours is lower, that's what we get.
It's not the charge what?
They don't do the charge anymore, so they don't do how we did it when we
Yeah.
just said, we're gonna charge you 180 per semester.
Tuition's gone.
It's whatever
Yeah,
the
it's
rate
gone.
was per your school, not, that, it's not. a-
Which we did not set, the state set.
So if
So
we,
the
if,
state-
It's a
okay.
percentage.
It's a percentage.
so if we get a child from independent school
Yeah.
district, we get their amount. We get their percentage. They don't have to pay what we would get.
So
Yeah,
if we
it's
have a kid from
such a
Laurel
skewed
and a
system.
kid
I
from
don't even get
Shepherd,
why we're doing it.
Shepherd's
it's
cheaper.
going to be
Yeah.
Totally different,
Wow.
and then it's based on whoever's lower between the two schools.
I'm sure they'll get it right.
It's going to be-
Oh, yeah, it's the
It'll
government.
be perfect.
It's the government, man. They're gonna pay us full.
So in essence, Lori, let me rephrase this then. Are going to get at least what we charge for kids to be here.
Mm-mm.
No.
Well, if they. that
If we're
school pays
higher, we
less.
get theirs if they're lower.
It
We
almost
get-
seems like
Let's
they're
say
gonna
a
make
kid
money out
from
of sending
Pioneer
kids
wants
to
to
other
come here.
districts.
And Pioneer is
We're gonna end up losing them.
$200.
And people are, other districts are gonna
Based
make
on
money
your
off their kids
calculation.
coming
Kids
here.
go to
Is that-
Billings,
If that's what
they're
the
gonna
state
get-
says, that's what you
if we have kids come here.
So if they come from smaller
They're gonna
schools,
pay
it
us
seems
what
like
we
we get less, if they come from bigger
They
schools,
actually
we get
get
more.
But at the end of the day, we don't really have control over that, and it's just gonna be kind of a wild card number every year.
And
But
it's
I just
going-
wanted the-
I believe it's going to be
Not
sort
very
of a
many.
wash. I doubt that we
Yeah,
ever
kids-
see,
Less than what we.
I don't think
Yeah.
we'll ever see like those
I think it's
tuition
quite a bit
numbers up
less.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll never
I
see
think
that
they're
again.
100,
Yeah.
We won't see
140
$30,000.
Okay.
We won't
Yes.
see 29, what is it, 20,000,
No.
29?
Yeah,
We won't
because
see
they
that.
have to provide their
I doubt
transportation.
it.
We actually
I
had
think it's
somebody
going to
apply
be
from
a wash.
Helena.
I can find them though. Shane.
But we get
I can
aid
tell you when,
too.
when we get done with all this.
So that tuition right there, I guess, is that the tuition that we get from our out of district right now?
The kids up in Helena.
But we function a year behind on A and B too, don't we?
Yeah.
So
We
I wanna
function a
make
year
sure-
behind on A and B too, don't we?
Yeah.
So this year's A and B gets paid out next year.
So we won't miss it, there's not gonna be a gap in years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always a year in arrears with
Yeah.
tuition.
Okay.
So if you scroll down just a little bit more, and this is by fund, guys, so if you're wanting to see what we're spending by fund and compared to last year, now you're getting into
Is
more
this right, Lori?
programs. Now you're getting into the expenditures, and you can see the difference there. So if you're interested in, what these numbers might look like,
Shane's gonna be all over
this
this.
is what we're audited on each year,
Already.
so.
You already
It's
in
just
it?
a lot of
already
numbers,
focused.
and if you like them, it's interesting. And if you have any questions, please reach out, I would be happy to answer those for you.
I'm assuming plant services is maintenance?
Yes.
It's my office, I got a lot of plans.
Oh, I need plants.
I'm sorry.
And remember, I was able to take for plant services that, some of it's utilities and things like that as well. And so I'm able to take money from, not as much this year, but I was able to take some from lease rental to use for that. I count on that each year. help our general fund. I did not take any for custodial salaries or anything from this,
Leave services.
school foods,
Oh.
because I wanted to keep that at the very maximum.
Tell them why,
And
Lori, tell them why.
Because we're free, community eligibility, so it's free lunches. Sodexo thinks that we're going to go in the hole by 200,000.
They had to have it at 241,000 to do the contract, when the lady who we all met with said the most she's seen a district our size lose if they lost any was $1,000.
But anyway, so
It's such a bizarre,
just to
it's
keep
such a weird
our food service program in the black, I saved as much as I possibly could in there, so I did not use any money out of there. Just because we're.
we do have to know what it's gonna do, I mean, this is new, we could
that
lose
are going to
5,000, but we're not
provide
gonna lose
and,
$250,000 on it.
School foods, free lunch and breakfast to all the kids for 4 years. So,
So we're
that's
still
gonna
gonna
last
use,
us.
we still have to pay?
Well, there's a chance you can lose some revenue because the reimbursement's less when you do free like we're doing.
Uh-huh.
So the lady, when we met with her from OPI that walked us through, because Lori and I we finally talked to somebody that was talking to us about, from the program, because all we were hearing was, oh my God. And she said, you guys are good. She said, districts your size, for the most part, at the most they ever lose is $1,000. She said, but I've not seen them lose in the 4 years.
Why would you lose if it's free?
Well, the reimbursement that pays
reimbursement's
Sodexo back.
Sodexo charges us a rate
Yeah.
per meal,
Yeah,
but the federal government only gives us part of that back.
So Sodexo charges $1, we only get 80 cents back.
so like our milk now went up to 55 cents because they had to increase the price on the milk. So, and that's 5 cents is 5 cents. It's free for
Right.
us. So, but I mean, it's like they're already trying to balance to make up those little bits of differences. So
So if.
for them, it's about the money. For us, it's about the kids eating. So, yeah.
So I wanted that hefty, I wanted that
Yeah.
balance in there hefty, just in case, because we don't wanna have to put, general fund money into school.
And I agreed with Lori because we don't know what it's going to look like. Next year, it'll be a little bit better and we
Yeah,
can say,
so-
yeah,
You'll have some hard numbers you can
Yeah.
count on.
yeah, this is new, but exciting.
So anyway, that, it just kinda goes through how we expended things.
Lori, is support services paras?
Pardon me?
Is our support services our para professionals? Okay.
And then special education is broken out. We have to spend so much in special education. If we don't, you go into what they call reversion, and that money that the state gives you for special ed, you have to give some of it back.
Yeah.
Use it or lose it.
And gifted and talented, we have to
But we
show
use it-
an
we use that
exorbitant
a
amount.
ton.
We spend $500,000
But we
on
have to
gifted and
prove that we're
talented
not
stuff, and we get
supplanting
$11,000
federal
for a
funds
3-year grant.
with local funds.
But to get the grant, we have to show we spent, I think it was
So
this year was
careful how you
481,000.
expend all that stuff and report it.
There's quite a few things you can throw into that, though.
Oh, we put like Cindy's
But
salary,
if
we have all the
if you
core
guys
plus
have any
teachers. I mean,
questions on
it's
the
easy, but
TFS,
it's
you can look at this at
stupid,
length.
the balance of
Come
it.
back to me with questions if you'd like.
It's money we'd spend
And then
anyway.
we
Yeah,
can move
look
on
at
to
this,
budget.
gifted and talented.
And
we
I'm
get
happy to answer
$11,000.
questions if you have.
It dropped significantly when Cindy left.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Well,
343 to
Cindy was about
297.
$80,000, so.
What was it?
Our gifted and talented, that what we have to show them is a ridiculous amount for what we get. We get about
We code way
more than we have
more,
to.
because any teacher that we have, that we consider teaching gifted and talented.
Gifted or core, yeah.
We code their salary.
We don't get that much from it, but we do
No.
code everything to it. It's the same with special ed. We put a lot more into special ed than we get back from it, but we have to or else we lose money from it, so.
It's a little bit of manipulation, but
It's
necessary.
I
a
love the
shell game.
efficiency of our government.
Yeah.
So, if nobody has any questions on this kind of thing, we can go to the budget. Again, if you
Shane's
have
making a
questions on
list.
it, after looking at it, you wanna know what we're doing, let me know.
He's gonna dream it.
Shane's
best.
digesting it. All right, darn it, I keep closing my email. I don't
Pardon
mean to
me?
do
You're
that.
gonna be on speed dial.
You should probably
I'm
make a
surprised-
regular
I've
weekly
become
appointment,
buddies.
Shane.
I'm
Just-
surprised you're not already.
Okay, electronic budget.
Where are you at?
I'm gonna start off with giving you the bad news.
There it is. Okay.
Okay, our taxable value, if you remember last year, it came in at 18% increase, which was historic. It was fantastic. We've been waiting for that for a number of years with our growth in the community. We planned on it. Every year we were disappointed, and last year we finally did it. Well, this year, our taxable value went down by $1.35 million, which is significant.
Why?
4.5%, about 4.5%.
So we're down to 14%?
Yeah, well,
Wow.
we're down 4% from what we were last year.
Which was 18.
So we're
Why
still,
don't- wait,
we're
so-
still having that over the 2 years at, about 14%.
What drops that, Lori? so
Why
we
did
understand?
why did that number drop?
Okay, so, first off, the threshold exemption for personal property tax was raised from $300,000 to $1 million. So,
By the state.
That's gonna be
By the
a
state.
significant impact in our district. Secondly, there's a taxpayer assistance program that went into effect. They heavily advertised that. And so people that were having trouble paying their taxes, they could go into assistance program. And so that reduced their exemptions and, there was significant community outreach to advertise this program, resulting in substantially increased number of applicants. And so that reduced our taxable value as well. That was reassessed because the property was reassessed. And then personal property was reduced by $286,000. Real property was reduced by $171,505. And then the sale of Exxon to Par Montana, they reevaluated some of those assets, and that was reduced by $139,000 some odd. All those three things totaled was $600,000 of that property tax. The rest of it, would be the personal property threshold being increased. I personally thought it was going to be centrally assessed properties or taxation that was going to affect that. I asked that specifically because I know the gas lines they were taken out of service for